Welcome into The Bad Fan and get ready to dive into something new. Aside from sports, we want to explore other things as well. And today we'll be sharing our thoughts on the new Disney Plus series, Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is still the place to hear about your favorite things, but from a different point of view that may go against the grain of normal fans. So I'm your host, Cole Carter, and we're so glad that you have tuned in with us today. To those of you who are new around here, we'll be honored for you to subscribe today. Becoming a Bad Fan is easy and made better by clicking the bell below this video. That way you're always connected and notified to see new episodes like this one from The Bad Fan. And I don't really want to do this thing alone, so I'm joined by my partner in crime, Brandon Patesnick, my man. So good to have you in. Are you excited to try something new today?
Yeah. This sort of feels like the gaming episode, which we're working on a part 2, hopefully here in the near future. But yeah, I like switching it up and talking about Star Wars, which I know you and I both love. I think most of the world loves. I don't know, but I love talking about it, and I'm really excited to try this one out.
Yeah, debatably got to be the biggest franchise. Obviously, people always talking about Star Trek and Star Wars going head to head, but at this point, it feels like Star Trek is easily number 3, even behind like Marvel at this point. So Star Wars got to be number 1 in the hearts of many. But we're going to go ahead and pump the brakes before we go any further. That if you're watching this, obviously look at the title above us. There are going to be lots of spoilers going on, talking about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, a bit of recaps from the most recent episode, and just kind of through the series so far. So if you don't want to hear that, don't listen any further. Press pause, save it for later, watch the episodes, and catch up with us later in a bit. But we want to get started with a little bit of recap from episode 4. Pretty much at this point, Obi-Wan and Tala, she is the Rebel Imperial officer that's been kind of undercover, have tracked Leia, 10-year-old Leia, to location on the Mustafar system where the Fortress Inquisitress is. So this is the Inquisitor's water base. It's underwater in bits and pieces, but the cool spire part is above water.
I think you said that better than I would. Fortress Is it? I don't even know. Inquisitorious. I don't know.
Inquisitorious.
I have no.
Maybe it is.
I think we're both saying it the right way. I have no idea.
Inquisitorious. I guess that makes more sense.
Inquisitress.
Anyways,
that's pretty good though.
I guess Inquisitress would be a female Inquisitor, would it not? Inquisitress. So it's
well, if it's ESS, I think you're saying it right. Still.
Inquisitorious? I don't know. Anyways, I'm not the big linguist here, so I'm just doing what I can, going by the fly. Anyways, so Leia is taken there. Last episode, she was taken out of the tunnel on the planet that Obi-Wan was trying to get away from the Inquisitors on the other city planet that Leia had been abducted from after she was taken from Alderaan. Anyways.
Yeah, if you haven't watched that, go back and watch that. Yeah,
there's lots of places Leia has gone so far in a short period of time. So she is interrogated here by Reva. And Leia, at this point, doesn't have any knowledge, if you've seen The Last Jedi, about her knowledge of the Force. But here she resists the mind intrusion that Reva's trying to get from her. She's trying to gather information about other Jedi sympathizers, Jedi she may know, Obi-Wan Kenobi, obviously. But much like we saw with Rey in The Force Awakens and Kylo Ren, Rey resists the Force intrusion of her mind. So I think it's kind of interesting. Brandon, what was your thought on this particular moment of the show?
Yeah, this is like very early on in the episode. I thought it was weird at first. And like there's actually 2 scenes. Reva's trying to interrogate her in 2 scenes. And I just don't know. She's not... I have my reservations about Reva at the acting part, which I think we'll get into later. But yeah, like, why does she think Leia would know anything, first of all? It's a 10-year-old princess from Alderaan. Like, I don't know. That just seems a little weird. Like, she wouldn't be able to pick up on things, right? And also, a highly trained and skilled Inquisitor, Reva, can't break down a 10-year-old child like through her like mind. What is it called? Is there a name for it?
Of like the Force maneuver she's doing?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I said it was mind intrusion. I'm sure people just call it mind reading.
The mind intrusion thing sounds perfect because I think that's basically what it is. But like Reva can't get in who, again, highly trained, can't get into the mind of a 10-year-old who doesn't even realize she has the Force. Like, I don't know. That just didn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I don't know.
I think, I don't know. We see some parallels to Anakin in Episode 1, who's obviously similar in age to what Leia probably is at this point. He is a slave boy who has really no real idea that, he's a Jedi or he's a Force sensitive person. Leia much the same as him. And, there's moments where Qui-Gon recognizes his abilities of the Force, just noticing his ability to see things before they happen. So there's sort of a knack to have certain, like, abilities. And I think Leia displays probably some of those more inquisitive things, like with her mind of just, like, thinking ahead, or she just could just be a mentally strong person, Like with Rey, people talked about how she was untrained and whatever. It's just like, there might just be that natural connection with the Force where you can just have a feeling. It's like, I don't want this person in my head. I'm resisting. So she might just be really stubborn. And that's why it works. I don't know, because we haven't really gotten an explanation on, how mind intrusion works. Like, is that something you pick up and train and practice? Like, we don't really know that either, right? So hard to say.
Another thing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say, another thing is, though, wouldn't she realize that Leia has the Force as well? Like, did that not come across, like, to Reva? Like, that's another thing. I was like, that's like a dead giveaway, I feel like. I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing too. Like, Reva, we don't know her full backstory, except that we can hypothesize that she was one of those younglings at the Jedi Temple when Order 66 happens at the first scene of the show. And she might have been one of those that escaped the temple at that point. So we don't even know her training, what she had then, what she knew, and then now what she can apply. So she might just be ignorant to what to suspect and what to not suspect. But again, you would expect, like, an Inquisitor would have some sort of, like, training, but we don't know. I mean, that's the thing. There's so many gaps that we're just not sure of. But anyways, it's interesting to at least have that there. That we can at least pick at, but pretty much the rest of the episode is like a jailbreak, very reminiscent of A New Hope with Leia and Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Chewie and Obi-Wan then. But this one, Obi-Wan and Tala infiltrate the base. Obi-Wan coming in, sort of like we did in Episode 1, coming in underwater, as he did on Naboo. I know you probably like seeing that again, didn't you?
Yeah. Immediate nostalgia with Kenobi swimming with the breathing device. It was so awesome. Like, took me back to, like, when I was like 5 years old, watching him and Qui-Gon swim. I always thought those breathing, like, machines were so cool. I wanted one like, so badly. I was like, this is awesome.
Same thing. He uses it quite often. He also used it on Utapau when he falls, 1,000 feet into the water. He has to use it then to escape the probe droids there too. So he's got that thing handy, and honestly, I'm glad to see it back as well. It's a really cool callback. But yeah, so we see them. They're going through. Obi-Wan finally reaches her in that interrogation room. We have two stormtroopers side by side to her, and he does the awesome thing where he cuts the power, and it's just the glow of the red kind of interrogation device. And then he lights his lightsaber, takes away one stormtrooper, takes him down, and glides in the darkness and gets the other one down as well. Pretty cool, awesome, like,
so cool.
Like cinematography right there. Just seeing the glow of the lightsaber and the quick slashes of the stormtroopers. I love seeing that. Apparently, that's a callback to The Force Unleashed as well.
Yeah, I heard that. So
cool. Like, Force Unleashed happened there, but also this whole Fallen Order thing that just came out 2 years ago also took place in the Fortress Inquisitoris. I'm saying it 4 different times at this point. Anyways, cool, like, they're kind of matching these things up. Obviously, I think it's canon, so it's like that base has had big water damage twice in a short span of years. So they probably should just get some better glass underwater if you're going to have a base there. Yeah. But anyways, Obi-Wan gets Leia out of the room. They begin their escape. They get closed on a couple of times. Tala meets up with them, and they finally get back to the main hangar bay. They get the old kind of trope of getting a long trench coat, putting her to the side. It works for a little bit until the end. Reva catches up with them, recognizes what's going on and confronts the trio. And as she gets close, two of the awesome ships from Hoth that you see in The Empire Strikes Back come in, dive bomb into the hangar, take out a couple of stormtroopers on the base in the hangar, and quickly scoop up Tala, Leia, and Obi-Wan to their safety, but not before Reva can throw some sort of explosive device and get poor old Wade from his fighter. But that's pretty much the episode. Obviously, that's just a quick synopsis, but we do want to dive into some things from it that we kind of already have, but the more broad things, maybe some details as well. What was a detail for you from the episode? Maybe like what Obi-Wan saw right before he got to Leia that is something that might come into play later on.
Yeah, and I don't know if it'll come into play now. But we know the Star Wars world is so built out, but there's also so much to explore and a lot we don't know. Mm-hmm. But when he's, in that bottom level or whatever, and he's walking through the tombs, like that is so interesting why they would keep them there. We saw, I think it's Tara Sinube. Is it Tara Sinube? He's from the Clone Wars. He actually helps Ahsoka, I think, find her lightsabers in one of the episodes. And other Force-sensitive beings, whether they're Jedi or not, held underneath the fortress. I'm sure because at this fortress, this is where they interrogate all the Jedis or any Force-sensitive beings. And yeah, they either convert them for their cause or do bad things to them, kill them, preserve them. They might also, those tombs might be like preservation as well. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, so if you pay attention to a lot of the series, obviously the movies, Palpatine, Darth Sidious, sort of has this thing of he wants to live forever. We've heard this in the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise about the apprentice who was taught everything and, trying to tell Anakin, I can save the ones you love from death, blah, blah, blah. And then we see it come to fruition in The Rise of Skywalker at the very end. We see, when Kylo Ren, Ben Solo at this point pretty much, and Rey go to the throne of the Sith on Exegol, and Palpatine's on the throne with his device. He gets sort of this moment where he zaps their life force from them and gains a little bit back. It's not a full resurrection, but it gets just enough for him to gain his power, blah blah. You see the movie and all that happens. The point being is that at this point, this is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, but the whole manicuring of Anakin Skywalker was that he would have a young, powerful apprentice that eventually he could kill and pretty much take their body, and he would sort of live on through that, is how I interpret it. And so, obviously, Darth Vader exists, and he gets cut in half, and he's more machine than he is man. So it's sort of a hard host to grasp on. And so I'm guessing is what happens is he's preserving these life or force-sensitive beings. We see them in the tomb area. And he's probably running experiments, finding ways, how can I either clone myself, how can I clone himself like he sort of did with Snoke in whatever ways. If you played Star Wars Battlefront 2, you know about his sort of robot self he made right after he dies in Episode 6. So there's a lot of different things. If you pay attention, he's doing experiments, and we're probably seeing that's going to unfold more in Season 3 of The Mandalorian with Grogu. Why does the Empire want Grogu so bad? It's probably because they want to figure out how to translate these Force beings into ways for Sidious to become more powerful. So that's sort of where my head goes with that.
That's where my head went to. I was it's obviously going to take a long time to figure out something that's never been figured out before, right? Cloning. Cloning humans, I guess. Or creating Force-sensitive beings, which I think is what he's trying to go for. I also think maybe he was trying to create a little Sith army, but clones of himself or something like that. So running tests, whatever. So I think they're like more like preservation chambers than tombs almost. Because what would be the point of having them there, right? But I thought that was really interesting to see, really cool to see. And then you also see a youngling in his uniform still with his helmet on. Which why would he have the helmet on? So I don't know, but it's just, it takes you right back to episode 3 when Anakin's in the room like killing them.
Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do?
Oh God. Oh yeah, that's ingrained in my head. So I thought that was really cool. Did you take anything else away from the episode?
I mean, I guess just like Obi-Wan sort of getting back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
He's starting to get a hold of like what it means to be a Jedi again. I really, honestly, I loved that kind of second opening sequence from the first episode when we had the Grand Inquisitor, Reva, and was it the third brother or whatever, where they're on Tatooine in the town. They go to the cantina and he kind of gives this monologue about how Jedi, like, they can't hide because of what they want to be and the things that they'll do to protect people or whatever. And I love how that's sort of coming into play now with Obi-Wan. It's like, he's been hiding for a decade, and now he's come out of hiding, and he's having to be the Jedi that he pretty much promised to never be again. And so it's cool to see that happen pretty much fully at this point in episode 4. At the very beginning, like, we see him, like, teasing, like, a little device, or maybe it was last episode, I think it was this one, though, where he's, like, just moving a little thing, but then obviously in the middle of the episode the water is busting through these broken glass windows. He's having to hold it back, and then obviously using his foresight to block blaster bolts coming at him. So it's awesome to see Obi-Wan back at it again. Obviously wearing the more traditional kind of Jedi tunic was amazing to like bring the character into full form. So yeah, I think Obi-Wan is back. I think it's not Ben right now, it's Obi-Wan. And that's the title character that we're going to get to see now. It's not so much about Ben on Tatooine. It's about Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedi Knight, Jedi Master. And so that's exciting to have, like, fully happening now. Other than that, I mean, Vader, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. Yeah, Vader was like... You see what Kylo Ren does in the sequel trilogy. He gets super pissed and, like, slashes his lightsaber and, destroys things, or he gets mad at someone, chokes him. And Vader choked Reva, but he didn't do it as bad as he's done it before, as we've seen him do. Yeah. So maybe this is still a young Vader that's not, like, I don't know, as, like, maniacal or just crazy yet. And maybe his patience is still on a bit of string. It's not totally lost. And this is maybe the last chance that Reva has to kind of prove herself before he loses it and goes full-blown maniac. But I don't know. That's just some things I've seen, maybe.
That sort of gets into some of my qualms with the episode, which we're about to get into. But I just want to say real quick, Obi-Wan striking his poses as he's, like, defending. Because he's, like, a master of, like, defense. That's, like, what he became a master in. I forget what it's actually called, but... just a little nerdy insight there for you. So he's not really like a, advanced fighter, right? Like he's more like defense, which is so cool. And you see that happen, and you see him getting his force back and getting his movement back. And I'm trying to do it, as you can see. It's so cool, man. I just felt so good, like watching him do that. Even like the tricks where he's like, he banged the wall, I don't know. It was so cool. Also, a couple other things. The little mouse droid like meme cameo was funny. I'm glad that was in there. And then, yes, like you said earlier, him chasing down Leia or trying to save Leia from prison, basically, definitely an ode to episode 4. Not this episode 4. The movie's episode 4.
Hey, maybe makes sense.
Hey, maybe they did that. We might have been the first people to think about that.
Hey, come on.
Look at that. So, yeah, that's really awesome. Now let's get into some of the qualms with the series so far. You want to do that?
Nah, you go ahead. You started off.
So I'm just not a huge fan of Reva's, is it Reva? Whatever it is, acting. Like, I don't mind the character at all. I like the character, actually. Like, someone who's just, like, ruthless, has a goal in mind, doesn't care about anybody else, whatever. But it's like the acting itself is so theatrical. It's like I'm watching a play on Broadway, like in New York or something. I don't know, like, it doesn't keep me in the world of Star Wars. And it's really obvious, too, when you go, who I think Tala is an excellent actress and, like, plays a role really well. I don't know her name, but
If you had seen Game of Thrones, she's in Game of Thrones.
gotcha.
She's Prince Oberyn's kind of partner, spouse, wife person, and anyways,
I assume I'm sure she's a good actress in that as well. But yeah, and then obviously Ewan McGregor is absolutely phenomenal. I can't give enough praise. Like, he's just so good at acting. And I think Leia's been pretty good too. Like, obviously some annoying parts. It's a kid in a show, but I think she's been really, really great. But just like, you go from a scene with Obi-Wan and Tala to Reva, and it's just like, I don't know. It just takes me out of the world of Star Wars. And when I'm watching Obi-Wan Kenobi or any Star Wars show, I want to be there. I want to feel like I'm there. I want to stress like I'm there. I want to sweat like I'm there, you know. But I'm just not enjoying that part of it. So yeah, it just takes me out every time. I don't know if you've felt that at all.
I haven't felt that, and I guess my only reasoning I won't lay any blame or anything is because we still just don't know her motive yet, right? We don't know her backstory, so like we don't just know if she's just like completely bitter against Obi-Wan in particular. We don't know, like,
I mean, I like the character. It's nothing against the character. I think it's like the actual acting,
right,
in and of itself. Like,
so
I don't know.
I guess what I'm coming around to say is just like her character might need to be acted in such a way to portray, this deep bitterness that's just like, it's restless, it's, whatever. That's like, she's just so anxious, and maybe she feels the pressure, and that's why she acts in such a way. So it's like, it's hard for me to say right now definitively, like, I don't like the acting because I don't know where the acting's going yet, or why it is the way it is. So obviously, like, that's sort of how I feel. I like her. I've been enjoying her. I definitely don't like the fact that we had to have a conversation about like racism and stuff at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, that was really
it's
unfortunate.
like, that's just like, I don't know. I can also look past certain things to enjoy it. Like, the two chase scenes with Leia, it's like pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're working with a 10-year-old actress. It's, it is what it is. And it's, it did.
I can look past it. It's Star Wars,
Exactly.
right? There has to be something fun in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is meant for kids at the end of the day.
Disney,
like, George
Star
Lucas
Wars.
says that all the time. Dave Filoni says it all the time. John Favreau says it all the time. It's for kids, meant for kids. We're just bigger kids at this point who like watching Star Wars. So, but honestly, I'll say one more thing about acting is she has Leia, like that interrogation scene, I thought she did great as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she held her own, looked really good. But aside from that, though, I mean, qualms, it's just, it just feels like there's so much that needs to happen, and we haven't gotten to it yet. I'm waiting for some big revelations, whether it be Qui-Gon finally meeting up with Obi-Wan. Like, that was teased in episode 3. That's what Yoda told Obi-Wan he was going to do. Obi-Wan calls out to Qui-Gon the first couple episodes here. So it's like, I'm waiting for that. I don't know what insight he'll share. I'm waiting for Vader to do something amazing. So just the qualms are that I just feel like I need more everything. I need more action. It's like, I don't know. I need some dramatic, like, breakdown. Like, I loved Obi-Wan's kind of flashback moments and all that he's had, but like, I want confrontation with like either Vader himself or like Qui-Gon. Like, I need something beyond just like Obi-Wan in his head. Like, I want him to have like a place where he can debrief.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm looking forward to. That's my only qualm, really, is just that there still feels like there's so much to happen. We only have 2 more episodes, so basically 2 hours maybe of storytelling left, and I feel like there's a lot to cram in there.
I feel like that too. I do. And I know we'll get into that here. Like, where do we think it's going next? But sticking with the qualms, I guess I'm the bad guy here. But were you expecting more from the Inquisitors? Like, they're awesome, and like they're
Yeah.
great characters, especially in Jedi Fallen Order and like other shows as well. Like, I don't know. I'm just not getting enough from them. They just sort of seem dumb and stupid, which they're not, right? Like in the galaxy, like of Star Wars, they're not that. I'm just not getting like that evil like strength and power from them. Like the first episode, I think we got that, but like ever since, especially with the Reva killing the Grand Inquisitor, which I don't think he's dead, but like that was weird too. Whatever. But I don't know. Were you expecting more out of the Inquisitors, like to see something new with them? I don't know. I was
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I think the Grand Inquisitor, obviously, you would have expected more from. He's not dead, but he's on screen dead. So I'm expecting him to come back. Probably him being the one to like tell Vader, like, "Hey, Reva's got to go. We got to get her out of here. She's causing too much trouble. Whatever she's after, like, you got to go and cut the head off the snake." Which then I think is why we'll see the other two Inquisitors, a third brother, and whatever sister it is. I don't know what she is. The more yellow toned skin. That's when we see those three in Rebels kind of working together more. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen more from them. But maybe there's more of their story to tell. If there's a second season, like I don't know, there might be a second season. So there's a lot that can happen. But yeah, it's hard to say. I definitely would have liked to have seen a little bit more from them beyond just like quarreling between silly moments of like, that should have been my kill, or what are you doing? Like, that's sort of what I think. But again,
Yeah.
I'm not like taken aback by anything really so far. Like, not like Boba Fett, I had moments where I was like, oh man, really?
Yeah, okay,
this?
right.
Like,
I don't think it's like that, but there are just some things, I don't know. I expect a lot out of this Kenobi episode, and it's semi-delivering, but yeah, I don't know. I guess those are my expectations, right?
Sure.
But I don't hate what's going on so far. And my last qualm, maybe maybe this will jog your memory. You'll feel some type of way. But in episode 3 of this show, Vader was absolutely amazing. Like when he's walking through the town, just ruthlessly killing people, just merciless, evil, dark, powerful. Hearing his voice,
not killing just the men, but the women and the children.
Yeah, not caring, sensing Obi-Wan, like just that whole thing was awesome. And then like finding him, igniting his lightsaber in that power stance was freaking awesome. I didn't like that planet, by the way. I wish it didn't, like the fight scene and all that didn't happen there, but it did. And it goes with the story, so makes sense. But like the whole fight scene was dope too. Obviously, Obi-Wan wasn't going to be any sort of match. But we get to the scene where Vader's making him pay, right? Like wants him to suffer. And like that seems perfect too. Like all of that up until like where Tala shoots that canister or whatever it is and sets the fire, and the fire goes up a little higher. Like that just didn't seem right to me, and I gave it the benefit of the doubt after it. I was like, okay, maybe there's, Vader's smart, right? He's patient, sort of has to be patient, especially with hunting Jedi and especially hunting Obi-Wan. Maybe there's a scheme to it, right? Okay, I can look past that. Because by the way, if you don't know, Vader's suit can go to the depths of the ocean. He can be in space with his suit. He can walk through fire. It's basically indestructible. But again, benefit of the doubt. We go into this episode where he's about to kill Reva, and like I would expect him just come in there, light his lightsaber while he's choking her, and just kill her, and like move on, right? Like a ruthless Vader would. Like maybe episodes 4, 5, and 6 Vader, or like after this, like leading up to episode 4, like that ruthless, like militaristic Vader would just do something like that. Because he also doesn't like the Inquisitors. Like in, I think it's canon, like in the background, like he hates these Inquisitors, to be honest. But I guess because Obi-Wan's involved, he might be.
Well, it's like they're a means to a cause.
Yeah.
Means to an end, like what he wants.
Yeah, So, but then they wrote that scene in a way where like that wasn't his plan. Like he wasn't planning on letting Obi-Wan go and then tracking him and like finding other Force sensitives or the rebels or whatever it is. It's like he just didn't, and he lost him, and because of Reva, like now we found Obi-Wan again. That just doesn't seem right? Like it doesn't seem like Vader either. It doesn't seem like Vader to have mercy on Reva. So like, I don't know. I just felt weird with all of that happening. I don't know if that stood out to you. I'll get off my soapbox. I was just like, that doesn't feel like Vader. Like some of the lines, I was like, what is he? That doesn't seem right. I don't know.
Right. That's the thing. I think this is just still one of, I don't quite know. No, I guess it does. I guess Fallen Order takes place before this. I mean, Vader's pretty ruthless in that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, we don't have the full picture yet. That's the thing I can say is we don't have the full picture. So is it going against his character? We don't know because we haven't seen many instances of young Vader. Like, we see a more experienced, like, drawn-out Vader, Rogue One, where he's in that hallway and he's just destroying rebels. We see him in Rebels doing cool stuff. We see him, obviously, in the original trilogy doing amazing stuff. So I'm sure there's more fleshed out things in comics and books as well, but I don't know. I'm ready to go towards next. That's like what I'm looking forward to. Because we don't have the full picture. So it's like, where are we going next? For me, it's like, are we returning to Tatooine? Are we going back to the path base that we just saw in episode 3 and the beginning of episode 4, where Reva will look to wipe out any of those Jedi sympathizers? When is Vader going to step in to become menacing and fearsome like we know him to be? It's hard to say. And so I hope next episode,
because we only have two. We only have two left.
Have 2 episodes.
As far as we know.
I'm just guessing. I'm guessing they're going to go back to that planet. Lola obviously will be tracked. They'll kill and destroy those people. Tala will probably die. Obi-Wan and Leia, I guess, escape. Obi-Wan takes Leia maybe back to Alderaan. Her arc kind of ends there, going back home. Maybe Leia gives Lola to Obi-Wan as a gift back to Tatooine. And then maybe Obi-Wan is tracked back to his little cave near Luke. Reva or Vader or the Grand Inquisitor, whoever it is, tracks him there. They're like, why are you here? And then there's some kind of confrontation. Someone probably gets killed by Obi-Wan, or maybe Vader kills someone. I don't know. And then it's him having to defend Luke in the last episode. Maybe Qui-Gon tells him something. Like, I don't know. That's my theory. That's like the direction I could see it going. But it's like, how much time is there to get to that point? I don't know. But I have a feeling, much like we see with Maul going to Tatooine, if it's Reva dying, it's like, is he the chosen one? Like, who are you protecting? And maybe Obi-Wan hints at it there. But that's my theory. That's what I can guess is where we're going next. You got any thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that's a good theory. Who knows what these writers and directors have in mind? Like with the Boba Fett series, good Lord. I was expecting so many different things to happen, and we got 3 episodes of Mandalorian. So I don't know what they're going to do with these last 2 episodes, but something has to happen. I do think there might be either an additional like set of episodes or a second season. I would love just a second season, so they don't feel like you have to rush to that, like getting Obi-Wan back to Tatooine or something. Because obviously that has to happen, and he still has to be in hiding. Like people don't know he's there, so somehow, right? Like that has to get explained in a way. What I really want from this next episode, this 5th episode, is flashbacks. I don't feel like we've gotten enough, right? We have the 2 biggest characters in Star Wars, 2 of the 3 biggest characters in Star Wars, right? Other than, you can argue Luke. And we haven't seen them like go back to anything from the Clone Wars, anything from Revenge of the Sith, really. Like, I want to see that stuff, right? Maybe Obi-Wan's thinking about what he could have done better or anything like that, or like reliving like the good times of the Clone Wars and like a mission that they were on. Imagine taking like a Clone Wars episode that we saw in animation and like seeing that like a new version of that, like with live acting. Dude, yeah. I would freak out. I would love that. What do you think? You like that? You like that idea? I mean, that's what I would want.
How could you not? I mean, it's so that's the thing too. It's just like we have Hayden Christensen on the cast.
He grew out his hair, so like Clone Wars Anakin, into Revenge of the Sith. But
was it all for one turning scene on the hillside? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So there's got to be something, and we're hopefully gonna get it, but there's just no telling what's gonna happen without seeing it with our own eyes. And I hope we get it. I hope we get Qui-Gon. He's got to offer something.
Yeah. Qui-Gon's definitely going to be in this next episode. Maybe even Yoda. I mean, maybe like a forced conversation between them in some way. Like, Yoda's still alive at this point, right? So I would love that. I would love like a 3-way conversation between Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Qui-Gon, like talking. I don't know. I don't know how they would do it.
I mean, it's like, so it's what, season 6 of Clone Wars? It's like the last episode, second to last episode, when Yoda gets to Dagobah, I think, and he's like has that kind of forced conversation with Qui-Gon.
And
then there's
those episodes are dark.
Yeah. And there's also Qui-Gon talks to Anakin or talks to maybe it's Ezra. I don't know who. I can't remember right now. But I feel like Qui-Gon connects to someone else. So maybe there is some kind of way that those people can all connect. But I'm anticipating that the series will finish strong. After the blunder that was the Book of Boba Fett, I'm hoping that I can ride this wave pretty high. But
yeah,
it's been weird lately with these shows sometimes.
Definitely, it is. But they have to do this one right. Like, they have to. Or right in some sort of way. Again, I like Reva. I hope we get to see her flashbacks or like something like that, right? Like, I don't want this to be a full flashback episode, but we see little snippets explaining Reva's story, you know,
sure.
so we can sort of understand.
Or just like fleshing out that Order 66 scene, like what happens directly after she abducted, or like, you know, it could be even that as well. So
right, they didn't put that in there for no reason, right? Like that, exactly. They are going to reference that at some point. It's just when, right. And I don't know. I don't know. So this is how I see the rest of the 2 episodes playing out. So I don't know enough about like the storyline of Senator Amidala. Is it Amidala? Like Leia's dad.
Organa.
Sorry, Bail Organa. That's right. But he becomes a rebel. So what I think this is going to lead to is Leia getting back to Bail somehow, and them going into hiding. I think we will see that transition take place. It still won't explain. It doesn't explain how Leia gets captured again, I don't think, but like this is leading into Rebels, like in the timeline. maybe not directly, but like this is in the time period going to movie episode 4. And so Rebels is before then. So like somehow I think they're going to show that, which I think would be really cool because that's an interesting side of the story. Like Bail Organa just seems to always be around in these big moments. Like he's just like expected. Like, I don't know. It's just sort of funny. I like his character too. So I think they're going to explain that some way.
I think, though, from what I understand, I don't think the Organa family goes into like hiding. I don't think. I think that they are sort of just like what,
But
they're because they're still senators. They like Leia becomes a senator. She's still a princess, so it's like they're still like public figures.
oh,
So they still have to be on Alderaan. That's why Leia would even care that much about it, because she's still princess, senator, like. So I don't think they would go into hiding, but you could see their involvement of how they become a part of the rebellion. Maybe we hear rebellion for the first time, like.
am I tripping? Isn't he in Rogue One though? Isn't he a part of
Yes, so
like those conversations?
So he's in Rogue One momentarily. Towards the end, Mon Mothma, I think is her name, red-haired lady, white dress,
Yeah.
talks about needing to call a friend. Well, he says that, I think, referencing Obi-Wan. So I think he probably just is sort of playing the inside job of just like, he's a good person. He wants to help people. And he understands his role. He has influence, and he must become networked through whatever means. We might get to see what that means is. You know, I'm going to go to Jeddah and go see this kind of terrorist I've heard about, referencing, what's his face?
Saul
Guerrera.
Guerrera.
Saul Guerrera. So it's like, that's the thing. He might start leaning into like that world, that space. Like that's what we might get to hear from Bale next is like, hey, you know, what do I do with these guys? I've heard of a young rogue Jedi. He just met with Saw Gerrera on a planet on Kashyyyk, and we get to hear about Cal Kestis. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that
Would
might
they do
be
that?
connected.
I don't
That's
know
the
if
thing.
they would
I don't
do
know.
that.
They might. They
I
very
would
well
love
might.
that.
So, like, if they even name dropped or hinted at, you know, there's a young Jedi Obi-Wan, maybe you should like meet with him or something. I don't know. Like that could happen. That very well could happen. I don't think it will, but that'd be like the stuff that'd be really cool, like to call to. And that could even be part of Obi-Wan season 2. It'd be like Obi-Wan and Cal Kestis, because it's live action, so that actor is Cal Kestis.
Right. He
And
looks
so,
just
like
him.
Right, it's mocap. It's
Obviously,
motion
yeah,
capture,
it's
so it's
him.
like, so they could easily make it live action.
That'd be
So,
so weird.
I think they can do so much.
Well, they could have done a lot with Boba too. So let's bring it back
So, like,
down to earth.
Yeah, we're
I'm
tempering our
trying to think
expectations.
storyline here. Like Leia has to get back to Alderaan at some point, and
Yeah.
whether because they figure out that Bail's a Jedi
Sympathizer.
Yeah, thank you. Goodness. Like then he has to like sort of move or like relocate or something, and maybe his wife like takes over, or his brother, you know, I don't know. I would like to see some sort of storyline like that happen, because I'm really sort of over the Leia thing, to be honest. We know we're gonna get a Vader and Obi-Wan fight scene again at some point, like in this, not like a flashback. Maybe it'll flashback to it, but like in this time period, because of quotes like from movie episode 4, like they just have to line up correctly, and it's also been a long time since he had seen him in movie episode 4, to whenever they leave each other here. So we're going to see another fight scene, and I'm so pumped for that. And obviously Obi-Wan will be more ready for it. I've heard people say they want to see like a Rocky like montage of like Obi-Wan getting ready, like talking to Qui-Gon, whatever, learning, training with maybe Yoda or something. I have no idea. I mean, he could go to Dagobah. I doubt it, but yeah, I would love to see that, and then I would love to see like maybe the Grand Inquisitor kills Reva, or Vader does, or Obi-Wan does in the end. Like, I like that sort of idea where like Riva like tracks him back to Tatooine, but he knows he has to kill her, or like maybe she turns good, even like because she wasn't once a Jedi. They like make amends. Like there's some connection between her and Obi-Wan as well. Obviously,
She has to die sooner or later.
she will
That's what I
die
think.
in this series. I just don't know how. So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to the next fight scene with Vader and Obi-Wan, obviously. And if that's done well and the story is still sticks with canon and isn't like way off, like I think I'll be very satisfied.
What's our thumbnail gonna look like? Then be like,
yeah, we need a bunch of clicks. Do some crazy thumbnail. But
Vader did what?
oh my god. um Yeah, do you think, this is something I thought of too, do you think Vader gets a hint that Leia is his daughter, or like Obi-Wan's protecting like his children at all? I feel like that he wouldn't know that. I feel like he wouldn't get it. Maybe he'd get a hint of it, but like he wouldn't know that. I don't know.
I don't think he knows.
Yeah, I don't think he knows
I don't
either.
think he knows.
That's what I'm worried about that they might do. Like they might make him aware, and I'm like, I'm just worried.
I mean, at some point he has. Let's think. I got to remember the original trilogy. Does Palpatine tell him that Luke is his son in Episode 5? Like when he's in his sort of meditation chamber?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he tells him there's two, I think. Like he tells him that Padme had children, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think he knows.
Because he doesn't know.
I think the only one that gets close that we've seen so far is Maul. Maul understands what Kenobi's hiding.
Right.
That whole exchange on Tatooine. I think he's the only one that isn't, or Bail Organa, Yoda, and maybe if there's Captain Antilles or something, I don't know. Like, I don't think anyone else knows except that small group of people. And obviously, Lars, Owen, and Baru.
I was also going to say, I don't think it makes sense as well that, like, Leia doesn't remember Obi-Wan when she's captured, you know, like, in Episode 4. They're going to have to, like, wipe her memory or something because she doesn't know him in Episode 4 at all. So,
yeah, she does.
She wouldn't forget him now.
Well, she says, I need Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Yeah, from, like, I think, doesn't she say, like, you fought in wars with my dad or something like that?
I mean...
Like, she does not know him.
Well, no, she thinks her dad... Well, no, she knows her real father. I don't know. It might just be like a Bail Organa. She calls him her dad. I don't know.
No, yeah, she's talking about Bail. That's what I'm saying. Like, but she doesn't know who Obi-Wan is. So, like, that... They have to... I want them to explain that as well, because that won't make sense when you go into Episode 4 and she doesn't know Obi-Wan. They just spent, like, traumatic moments with each other. She wouldn't forget him. That's another qualm I guess I have with the thing. But there's a lot to come still. 2 episodes, hopefully 2 hour, 1 hour each, 2 hours. Basically like a movie almost of Obi-Wan, Vader, Reva in some way, the Inquisitors, Leia even. I mean, dude, it's gonna be good. I have a good feeling. I want to have a good feeling. I don't know. How do you feel? Are you optimistic?
All I know is if we were doing this show when Book of Boba Fett came out, we would have had some good episodes.
Oh yeah,
we could have.
We might have started cursing on the podcast.
I'm hoping that we don't have to have episodes like that.
No, please don't. Star Wars, please don't.
I'm hoping we don't have to have episodes like that.
Disney, no.
But I'm optimistic. I think that's a good landing spot for today.
Yeah.
I think we did a pretty good job recapping, looking ahead, finding some theories to think about and put out there and see if we're right or not.
Yeah. If you have any theories, get in the comments. Let us know if we missed something, we don't know something.
I want to see paragraphs.
Yes, please.
Comments of theories.
Yes, I need a distraction at work sometimes, so please.
Strangers on the internet, if you happen upon this episode and watch this whole thing, please give us your best theories. Spoilers are welcome.
Oh yeah,
I don't care. This is not a spoiler-free zone. This is a spoiler welcome zone.
Yeah.
Great episode. Great talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, episode 4. On the Bad Fan, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that about wraps things up here today on the Bad Fan. Thanks for tuning in today, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify. We hope you enjoyed today's time together. If you gave it a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. It's free, only takes a second of your time. It helps us out a lot. Helps people like you, the new person that hopped in today, see more content like this. We're trying to get some subs by the summer, maybe 100. That'd be a really nice number to see. So if you could help us get there, please don't be afraid to share this episode with a friend. Share it on Twitter, find us there, or get in the comments on Instagram somehow. But get interacting with us. We'd love to talk and see you in the comment section. But the link tree, if you need help finding those places, is in the description below this video. So go ahead and click on that to find your way to those places. But that's about it. Thanks for joining us on the Bad Fan today. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, do I say may the force be with you, Brandon?
You can say that. I think you can say that.
May the force be with you, everybody. See ya.